talk to you about your career being a one-person business, right? And it's true. Like when you think about working at a company, everyone has incredibly busy lives, right? Your boss is working almost just as hard as you. He has a wife and kids to go back to. He has his boss to worry about. He probably has like maybe health issues, family issues, etc. In all of this, do you think he's going to like spend an hour saying, I wonder what we should do for Sid's career to grow? It's not going to happen. Right? It's just not going to happen. Like he'll spend that time on Facebook maybe. So it's really your job to be proactive and to think about, okay, what do I need from this person and how am I going to get that? And it's not bad. It's not like you are telling them what to do or like they won't feel offended. Like, what? How could you walk into my office and tell me like you need these 5 things? You're actually doing them a favor because then they don't have to guess what you need. They don't have to spend time or they don't have to see you fail. You just give them like, hey, these are the 5 things I need from you and then I promise to succeed. And so just being proactive and taking control is super, super valuable because no one else is going to do it for you.
You have 5 minutes.
Okay. And the next one is failing and learning. So a lot of times the excuse for not acting on something is the fear of failure. Like, oh, what if I try this idea but then it fails? What if I try this approach to a project and it doesn't work? But some of the biggest learnings you will get in life is not from projects that succeeded, it's from projects that failed. And so the example here is this project called Wi-Fi Sense that we had back in Windows Phone 8.1. At that time, data plans were capped at like 250 megabytes or 1 GB and they're super expensive. So there was this theme of how do we get a phone to connect to Wi-Fi much more than the cellular network. And we worked incredibly hard. We had like 5 different ideas of how to get on Wi-Fi networks, right? Like airport kind of networks which have a browser page. Like how to choose when you're at a cafe and you have 3 networks to connect to, how to choose which one to connect to. When you go to a friend's house, can you connect to their Wi-Fi without asking them the password? And so we investigated all of these ideas and we developed like, I think it was 9 patents that we filed. And this feature actually shipped as part of Windows Phone 8.1. Some parts eventually didn't scale as well or didn't work as well in the end, right? When you ship something to 5 million customers, things start breaking or assumptions you have start breaking. And so we pulled those back. We literally like pulled those back from Windows 10. But the other features remain. And it actually took the smartphone state of the art ahead. And iOS, Android started adopting those features later, right? And so it's okay to fail, that's how you learn. And then this is a very interesting concept that again runs counterintuitive to what we are generally taught growing up. We're always taught to get permission before doing something drastic or doing something big, right? But this is Grace Hopper. I don't know if all of you know Grace Hopper. She's one of the first female computer scientists and programmers. She developed the concept of machine-independent software language, which then became BASIC, COBOL, and stuff like that. So there's this concept of what are decisions that need permission versus where can you get away with forgiveness. And I'll give you examples. If you have to send a disclosure of your upcoming product to Engadget, probably a permission. It's a permission case. Like you better make sure your director and your manager are approving that. If you want to check in something to beta testing and you'll get the test results, but normally you approve with your manager but he's on vacation, just go ahead. If something fails, you can always ask for forgiveness, right? So you have to be able to make that judgment of, is this something I can just try and worst case it fails, I'll just ask for forgiveness versus should this really block? Because if you always block on permission, you'll always be late on things. So that's it, that's about action. And so those are the 4 things I wanted to talk about mainly today. But again, I was kidding. There's one more. And that's what I call mentors plus plus. The reason I don't call them mentors is they're much more than that. I couldn't find a better term, so I just used the engineering short note of mentors plus plus. These are people who are super selfless. They help you learn things. They help you get ahead of where you are. They help you learn what you're deficient in and what you should be learning to move ahead. I've been super fortunate. I have had Radha during my college days, and then in my Microsoft career, I had a great manager called Doug, and in my Amazon, I had Linda. And it's just amazing to have these people because you feel like, why are they spending time on me? And I don't deserve all their attention and care, but they still do. And my advice to you is, A, find such people. And once you find someone like this, make it worth their time. Make sure you invest in the relationship. Make sure you give them back what you can. So that's it. Done. And it wasn't 49 minutes.
Thanks. Again, a lot of good stuff. So it tells you how you build yourself to be successful. So now it's time to ask a lot of questions to Sid.
By the way, I'll just keep this slide up. It has the link in case, I know Manas mentioned, like in case you guys were looking for internships or jobs and stuff, this is the link you would put. So I'll just keep this up. You guys can take it down. Yeah.
How much engineering do you find yourself doing in product or project managing?
Great question. And great question. I often get a more pointed version of that saying, why did you do a PhD if you were to become a product manager? But it's interesting. Like, I think what you think of as engineering and what you think of as product management, the lines are starting to blur, right? Because every day, I spend maybe 3 to 4 hours each day talking to my developers, talking to my what we call program managers or quality engineers. And at that time, even though I'm a product manager, just having that knowledge of how things work, what does he mean when he says like, oh, the function is crashing? Or what does it mean that, like, oh, the latency is too high, I need to get the UPL down to 3 seconds versus 3.5. Just understanding that and ability to offer ideas, ability to collaborate, speak their language, A, just gets you much more credibility and collaboration in the team, and B, it's just great for the team overall, for you to also speak that language. So, but to answer your question fairly, yes, I may not be doing like what we consider hardcore engineering work, like writing code or like designing a system, testing and failing all day long. I may do that for some time, but just having that knowledge, having that understanding, that way of thinking applies to many other things. And so you often find like people who do engineering graduates go on to become like financial analysts or bankers or like CEOs, right? Like, like in the life of a CEO, clearly they're not spending much time actually writing experiments and doing things, but that knowledge just helps you dive into details, question someone else's work and things like that. So.
Thank
I
you.
think just to add, then you can. Someone mentioned, so it's again, I'm not very clear about exact numbers. Around 30% of the Fortune 500 CEOs, so the higher ones, are engineering degree holders. So that tells your career will evolve, as Sid mentioned, and also last time the speaker mentioned. Your career will evolve, but you understand the process, how to be managing the process and understanding the process. And also, if you end up being another, not Tesla, but like Elon Musk, you won't just buy the oil from or use the oil because NASA is using it, right? So because you would ask the question to find out why must I invest in something else. And so that alone is actually worth it, because if you are trusted to run a bigger program, and someone comes and says, I'm going to give you 10 million to build this program, and you assemble a team, so they are counting on you to understand, to make everything work. Not necessarily do all the work, but have a full understanding of where it is going. So I think foundational knowledge is extremely important, and it puts you in a very strong position to be a leader.
Hi. Could you give advice on mitigating disputes between coworkers? Like, people want to go in different directions
Yeah.
and solving an issue. Like, how do you have people come to an agreement?
Always comes up. Always comes up. I think I forget where I learned this. There's actually there's a book what's that book called? I think it's called Art of Negotiation maybe, or it's something like that. I'll follow up and I'll get back to you. But the one concept that book told that has absolutely stuck with me forever is often in a dispute, people take it as your idea versus my idea, right? And let's fight it out and see whose idea wins. You have to be able to convert that conversation into, there's this problem that we are trying to solve. You and I are on the same side. We are both trying to solve this problem. It's us versus the problem. Let's put all of our ideas and then analyze which one is good or which one is bad, right? And so just reframing that is incredibly powerful. Like, it's not you versus me, it's us versus the problem we are trying to solve. That's one. And then two is this concept of like earning trust. So often what you'll find is, let's say in the same example, right? It's your idea versus my idea. We put them both down. When you talk about your idea first, point out all the disadvantages, right? Point out all the cons. Like, yeah, I had this idea, but I was thinking like this may not work. This is like, it may be more expensive to do it this way. It's not as accessible, da 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 da. And that just creates this area of openness for the other person also to be open to feedback, right? Whereas if you say, this is my idea, here's how it's the greatest idea in the world, now let's hear yours. Like, then it automatically gets this like defensive position.
Yeah, we often, just to add again, this is wonderful because as a faculty member, of course, I always listen to my students, and many of them will come and say, Radha, you have no idea, you don't know anything. I said, okay, teach me. I learned a lot. But now, as a department chair, when I often listen to other faculty members and others, and they all have great ideas too. So what I tell them is, okay, let's separate. What Sid said is essentially another way to rephrase is, we have a process and we all are trying to understand this process so that we will be successful. Remember he said Alexa glass, and then many different people were looking at it from different components. So you immediately put yourself and say, oh, here is a bigger project or theme or process we want to solve. We are all stakeholders. How do we come together and solve this puzzle so we all will be successful? Our team will be the number one team. Yeah. And they will say, this is a model team to work with. So once you play this game a couple of times, it's like going to the puzzle break room, so you have done it, right? So we go there, it's really fun. You have no clue, but you figure it out because you say, okay, let's figure this much, and then all of a sudden you have time to spend because you're done with it. So develop the mindset that you are stakeholders and you are going to listen to and solve a puzzle. I do security. I don't look at it as attack or any of those things. I look at each of them as puzzle solving. I even tell my students that the adversary is the best friend because he is always challenging, he or she is always challenging you to solve the puzzle better than. And the moment you solve the puzzle, he's going to throw the next puzzle to solve. So he's keeping you very alert all the time to learn. So I think take an approach, I think IEEE and other organizations help you to take that approach of process, and we are all in it together to solve things together. How do we become successful so that we can do more? Take that approach and life becomes very simple, and you start making more friends, and I say, oh, thank you very much, help me out here. And you do next problem together. Right? And that's what you want to be. You want to be successful and like Manas, have more time to have fun. Right, Manas?
Right.
Yeah,
It's all about
she's
fun.
very successful, and most of the time she's on vacation when she's not working. So,
So did you start off as a product manager or did you start off as an engineer? So how did you make that decision on which route to take?
I did. I started off as a program manager. I still remember the day. I was in my third year of my PhD. I went to Microsoft for a program manager internship, and then I came back and I told Radha, this is it. This is what I'm meant to be. I have to take this position. And he was super supportive and he helped me get there. So,
but you forgot what I told you.
yeah, to come back and do it.
I told him, do not accept the offer.
Because when you finish, you can negotiate. I am actually doing it for Sang also.
Yeah.
So companies try to grab you
Early.
at the cheapest price. So I
Yeah.
tell my students, you tell them you're going to come back, but you'll negotiate later when you finish, because you want to look at other things too. And he did a better job with that.
Yeah, that's true, that's true.
Don't ever undersell yourself, because you're worth more than what they are offering at any time. Don't ever accept, so, I mean, you know, we were saying, your dreams are not for sale is a statement one of the speaker made. But you can also say your price is decided by you and not given by somebody else. It's so important for you to have that concept.
Absolutely. So just to finish your question, I did start as a program manager. I had the option of like starting as a developer versus program manager. I think it's a very personal choice. I personally really enjoy sort of transitioning between diving deep into a problem, helping design it, helping solve it, but then quickly zooming out and look at the business angle of it. Like, how does this problem affect my overall product? Where is the overall product going? What is our strategy and things like that? So I personally really enjoy that, which is why program manager was a better fit for me. But that's not a universal answer. Like if 5 people tried that, some might like just spending a lot of time in their one, like I talked about building deep expertise, right? There's people who after engineering graduation join Microsoft as a developer, and then they have been like 16 years. There's a developer I know who for 16 years has been in the Windows networking team. And so he's like the god now of Windows networking. And some people enjoy that. So it's a really personal thing. But for me, yes, I went directly to program manager. Haven't regretted it one bit since then. But
Let's thank, we are running out of time, maybe that's.
You can ask after
Oh, yeah,
everybody's.
after,
Yeah.
let's thank Sid again. You can ask question outside, so that,